All, welcome to Smart Advisor channel. Today we are going to talk about the basic understanding of the stock market, how the stock market works, and how companies will accept the investment from the retail investors, and how a retail investor like me who is having $1,000 can able to invest in the Reliance industries, and even with the 100 rupees I can invest in ITC or something like that. So I'm just taking some few examples here how we can invest, whatever the small amount which we have in our hands can be invested in the stock market of the big companies. So what is the background of this stock market and what are the basic terminologies of the stock market? We'll discuss everything in this video. And before going into the video, I would like to give a small example why we need to invest in the stock market. The basic question. So even as a beginner, few people will come to the stock market, they want to become a billionaire in the last overnight. It's not going to happen, because if you want to take a stock market as a career, you need to go through a lot of hurdles, and first you need to understand what is stock market and how it works, and then once you enter into the market, then you will face the real phase of the stock market. So before going all those things, so first we'll answer the question why we need to invest our money in the stock market. First of all, why we need to invest in the money? So the thing is, so in India, even in education, even even in the broad society also, the most ignored topic is financial education. So we never think about what we have to do with our money. So once we start earning the money, we'll start spending the expenses. Okay, we'll buy a car and we'll buy a bike and we'll buy a smartphone. All those things we'll think. Of course, there are few things which are basic necessities. So there are assets and liabilities are there, which we are going to cover in the next couple of minutes. So why we need to invest our money? Suppose let's take an example. Today you have 100 rupees on your hand. So today you have 100 rupees on your hand. So you want to buy milk for your family for monthly expenses. Okay. So what you will do, just assume that each packet costs 10 rupees for today. So how many packets you will get for 100 rupees? You will get 10 packets for 100 rupees. Whatever the money you have in your pocket, 100 rupees, you will get 10 milk packets worth of 10 rupees. So what will happen in the next year? In the next year, the milk packet, definitely the products will get increased the prices for every year, almost. So let's assume the milk packet price has been increased from 10 to 11. So you still, if you haven't invested your 100 rupees anyway, so what you will do? You'll have just only 100 rupees. So how many milk packets you will get? You will get only 9 milk packets. The same worth of 100 rupees today is not equivalent same 100 rupees worth of tomorrow, because that is what we call it as an inflation rate. So inflation rate in the sense, so when the price of today's value, which will not be equivalent to in the future, definitely it will be get reduced. So what you have to do, whatever the milk packets which you are getting today, you will not be getting the same count of milk packets in the next year, because due to the inflation. So what you have to do, you have to invest today 100 rupees to turn it into to beat the inflation rate. So you have to, whatever the milk packets which you are buying for the 100 rupees today, the same amount of milk packets you should at least get to survival. Otherwise, if you are not getting then definitely you are drowning in the financial expenses. So what we have to do? So we have to invest that whatever the 100 rupees you have which in your pocket today, you have to invest it and turn it into 110 rupees for tomorrow at least. So what are the different ways to invest your money in the today's in India? Let's take an example. So what we have to do, we have to invest it in the real estate, because buying a land and then it will turn into a maybe multiple times, maybe after a couple of years. That is the one thing. And another one is a gold, which is increasing very rapidly. That is second thing. And third thing, which is my favorite, is stocks. We'll just keep it aside for some time. Fourth one is the most important and the most secured we feel as Indians is the fixed deposits. In fixed deposits, we usually deposit the money right in the bank, and then we'll get the 5 to 6% of income. That is secured. Your capital will never go, so you'll definitely get your assured percentage of whatever the income it is. So that's the reason most of the Indians, we invest our money in the fixed deposits. So why we should not what is the lack of what is the disadvantage of investing your money in the fixed deposit? Let's take an example. Today you have 100 rupees, right? Let's assume that you have invested this 100 rupees into the fixed deposit. What will turn today's current interest rate is 5 to 6. Just assume that it is 6%. So what you will get in the end of the year, you will get 106 rupees. I'm just excluding the taxes and all, TDS and all, for just example purpose. You will get 106 rupees today. So what is the milk packets worth? 10 rupees into 10 today. So what it will become? It will become 11 into 10, 110 rupees. So you're still behind the 4 rupees. So this is the problem with the fixed deposits. Fixed deposit will never beat the inflation rate most of the times, and at current interest rates it will never beat the inflation rate. I'll guarantee you that. So what we have to do, we have to go with the other three, which is real estate and then gold and then the stock market. So even in real estate also you need to spend a lot of money. I mean, you cannot purchase with 100 rupees or 1000 rupees. You need a huge investment. That is one thing. And you have to security. Even if you purchase a gold, you need a lot of security to, you have to open a locker and you have to keep it over there. The maintenance will be much more. And even if you purchase the gold, and there will be taxes and all more. So to avoid all these things, what is main advantage of stock market? The stock market is, even if you have 100 rupees, you can invest in a company. Companies like, very big company. If you have 1000 rupees, you can invest in a company like Reliance Industries. If you have 200 rupees, you can invest it in the ITC. So that is why, even if you have a small amount of money, whatever you are getting in a monthly, whatever your savings, if you want to invest, you can invest your small units of money into stock market. That is the one of the biggest advantage. And second advantage is, there are so many disadvantages as well. People used to hear in India like, stock market is not for the beginners and this is only for the people who is having money and the people who wants to have a very basic financial knowledge and blah blah, economics, blah blah blah. This all are, I could say that this is nothing. Okay, if you want to concentrate in any way, just imagine there is nothing rocket science here. So it's just like whether you are buying the correct business or not. If you buy the correct business and you can sit in your chair, definitely your money will grow. Investing stock market is, companies are working for your money, to make you money. As an employee, you should work for the company to make money. As an investor, company will work for you to make the money to you. So that is the difference between the investment and then working. So of course, nobody will be having the money at the moment. So we'll just, whatever the expenses, after expenses, whatever the income which is coming, which is savings, just try to invest in the small bit parts of, into a stock market. Definitely it will be very useful for you. Okay, we'll stop here and then let's get into this stock market. So what is meant by stock market? So first let's understand what is meant by the business first. So let's take an example A. He wants to start a business called plastic chains business. He wants to start the plastic chains business, and he knows that where to get raw materials. He knows what is the functionality of the chains manufacturing company. Let's assume he worked in he's having idea about this chains manufacturing thing and selling the goods. So he thinks that though I can able to start a company, so I can definitely beat the Indian, I definitely make my impact in the Indian market. So definitely he decided to start a plastic chains business. Just assume that this plastic chair manufacturing unit and selling this, all for all the operations, he needs the 1 lakh as an investment. Whatever how much money he required 1 lakh rupees. A wants to start a chains manufacturing company and he wants an investment of 1 lakh rupees. So what he has to do, he can directly go and invest, but it is okay for the 1 lakh. But what about the very big companies? It requires a lot of huge amount of investment. Nobody will be having it. So what they will do, they will do for that. Suppose let's assume that 50,000, A will be having 50,000 in his hand and he needs another 50,000. So what he will do, another 50,000, he needs that investment. So what he will do is, he will divide this 1 lakh amount into 10,000 simple units. One simple unit is worth of 100 rupees. Sorry, 1000 units, 1000 simple units, and one is worth of 100 rupees. That will become 1 lakh rupees. Right? Just assume that he divided his 1 lakh investment into 1000 simple parts. Each simple part will value of 100 rupees. So he has divided his investment of 1 lakh, big investment, into small investment like 1000 units, and each unit is value of 100 rupees. What he will do, he is already having in 50,000 rupees in his hand. So what he will do, he will purchase the half of the units, will keep with him, which is 500. And he needs another 500. Whatever these simple units are to be called as stocks or shares or equity or scripts. equity or equity or stock market share script, all these are equivalent to this simple unit. So what they are doing, whatever the investment, big investment will be chunked into a simple small parts. Each small part is to be called as stock or share. So you know the share. So if you are buying a one share of a company, that means you are investing in that company and you are a shareholder, you are having the share of that company. So that is what mean by the share market. And so whenever you are purchasing any share, just think that you are investing that company, you are a shareholder of that company. Okay, now let's come back to point. So here he needs another 50k as investment. So what he will do, he'll divide that into 500,000 simple parts, and each simple part consists value of 100 rupees. So he need to ask someone from 500 units to sell that. So what he will do, he cannot directly sell it. So that let's come to my house or my home, office or home, just purchase the 500 units of my company which I'm going to start, you can become a shareholder. That's not the way how it's going to work. So what he has to do, he has to go to the stock exchanges. There are two stock exchanges in India. One is Nifty, that is National Stock Exchange, and another one is Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE and NSE. We used to hear it in the news that NSE, BSE stock exchanges, right? So NSE, in the sense, NSE and BSE are the two major stock exchanges in India. So one is National Stock Exchange and another one is Bombay Stock Exchange. These two are based out on Mumbai. So what these Bombay stock exchanges will do, this retail investor, whoever is A will reach out to the stock exchanges, NSE and BSE, and then he will put all whatever the bookwork and whatever the idea he has, and he'll put it in a document form, and then he'll submit it to the stock exchanges. Yes, I want to sell the 500 units of my company which is called X. Just assume that X company called X. So I want to sell the shares of this company to retail investors. Retail investors are nothing but like you and me who wants to invest in the company. So just assume these 2 points are there. So NSE and BSE will do all the things, and remember one thing, these NSE and BSE operations will be monitored by SEBI. This will be run by the Government of India, Securities Exchanges Board of India. This will monitor all the activities of NSE, BSE to restrict all the fraudulent activities. So now NSE and BSE are there. So A will reach out with his plan, and then he will go to about the company are starting X, and then he'll explain and he'll do the document work, and NSE BSE will accept that, and they're ready to enroll that company into the stocks list. And we can, as a retail investor like you and me, will not directly go to National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange just to purchase the stocks. That is not it is going to work out. Another, we have one more third thing called brokers, who will act as a medium between you and retail investors like you and I, in between the national stock exchanges. See hierarchy, company, and then it will go to the stock exchanges, and stock exchanges to brokers, and brokers to retail investors. So it's a four depth hierarchy. So companies will go to stock exchanges will sell the share via the brokers, and retail investors will invest money into the company. So this is a 4-depth hierarchy. And NSE BSE, what is this NSE and BSE? NSE and BSE will take have the market stability, what is the company is performing, and what are the sales, and whatever the company's activities, whatever it is doing, company will submit it to the stock exchanges, and stock exchanges will give this information to retail investors directly on their websites. I'm going to show it in the later of this video. So based on those informations, retail investors will invest the money into the stock markets, NSE and BSE. And what are these brokers and how do you start it? We have to, with brokers, you cannot directly call to the broker, and you cannot directly ask them to invest. You need to have two accounts like your bank account. One is trading account and another one is demat account. Trading account, which will be used to buy and sell of your shares, that is what you need, the trading account. And demat account is all your stocks or shares which we have purchased will be stored in an electronic format in your demat account, like a electronic format. This will be stored in your demat account. So when you want to purchase any stocks or shares of a company, you must have trading and demat account. So to open the trading account and demat account, you must reach out to your broker. There are So many brokers are out there in the market. Let's take an example of Zerodha, HDFC Demat accounts, or Sharekhan. There are Fiats. There are few many. I'm just naming few examples. These are the stock brokers which you can reach out to them and through their online website or their portals, and then you have to submit your basic PAN card and Aadhaar card, and then you have to pay some fees to opening the bank, the trading and Demat account. They'll get it open for you in 3 to 4 days, and then they'll give you a username and password to log into their portals. So once you open this trading and Demat account, then you are able to log into via broker's portal. You are able to see the stocks which are listed in NSE and BSE, and you can purchase and sell them. So NSE and BSE, let's take a new slate. Okay. Now we'll have NSE. I'm just taking one as an example. Any stock exchange, NSE and BSE. So what these do is, so let's take an example. A has been listed. Already 500 shares is kept by A as an investor. So remaining 500 need to be shared by the retail investors. So I have opened a trading account and Demat account. Let's example. It's I and it's you. Among those 500, I have purchased, just assume that I have purchased 200 shares with worth of 100 rupees. So my investment will be 20k, and you have purchased the rest of the 300 units, and your investment is 30k, 30,000 rupees. So now what we have to do? So we have purchased this one, and this is the initial investment. He's having 500 rupees and his investment will be 50k. So we have purchased the sale. So what is happening when you open a trading account, Demat account, you will be, if you search for this company called X, and you will see the price of that company, and then you will purchase them. So today, let's take an example. Today at 24th of December 2020 at 12 o'clock, I have purchased the 200 shares of X company via my broker. Okay. So what will happen if I purchase the stocks today? Those will not reflect directly today into my account. It will take n plus 2. N is the today, n plus 2. So today is the 24th. By 26th, the shares will be available in my Demat account, but the money will be deducted in your account, which will be held by your broker. Okay. So but the end of the day, broker will do all the settlements to the stock exchange called NSE and BSE, and then after 2 days, your whatever the stocks which you have purchased today will be available in your Demat account after 2 days. Okay. It will be you are able to see that, but you are not able to have the rights to sell them, because your broker will be holding them just to show you that you have purchased it. Okay. And this is one thing. And what is the other thing? And we have NSE and purchase. We have sold all those things. So let's assume that NSE and BSE is there. And before going to the business again, so we'll talk about NSE and BSE, a few things. So NSE in the sense National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. NSE will take top 50 companies which are outperforming, okay, among those listed stocks, and BSE will take the top 30 stocks which are outperforming in there, and they'll form an index called, with these 50 stocks, NSE will form an index which is called Nifty, and Bombay Stock Exchange will take top 30 outperforming stocks, and then they'll form an index called Sensex based on the stock prices. So we used to hear in the news channels and even in the electronic media or in news channels that Nifty is reached 100 points or 10,000 points, 11,000 points. It increased 50 points and it has down 50 points. Sensex has increased 30 points and Sensex has increased 300 points. We used to hear all those things. Okay. So what we are going to do is, this Nifty and Sensex are just the definitions is index of the top listed outperforming companies. Suppose let's assume in today Nifty is up 100 points. That means those top 50 stocks prices are, most of the stock prices are going up. It doesn't mean that if the Nifty is 100 points up, that doesn't mean all the 50 stocks prices are going up. It's not true. So whenever somebody says the market is up or down, so there might be, most of the companies will be stock prices are going up. So when it is market is going down, most of the companies stock prices are going down. It doesn't mean that all the stock prices are going down. It should not be necessarily. Okay. So there are still few companies will make the money, make the money in the sense will increase their prices. The stock prices are keep on increasing in the indexes. So that is the definition of Nifty and Sensex. and Nifty and Sensex 30 points and 100 points. And what is mean by bear market and bull market? We used to hear generally. So what is mean by bull market in the sense, suppose let's take an example, Nifty index is going upward direction every day. Suppose it has been reached 10,000 points today, and today it will be 1100 points, tomorrow it will be 200 points. So it will keep on increasing the prices of the stock prices continuously for every day. Then it is to be called as bull market. This is what every investor will love, most of the investors of course. And what is meant by bear market? It is exactly opposite to bull market. So it is going down for every day. This is called bear market. We used to hear in the stock markets like bull run is happening, in the sense the stock market is going up for every day, and bear market in the sense stock market is going down for every day. These are the definitions of NSE and BSE and Sensex, Nifty, and then bull market and bear market. So now let's take into the business. Let's take in a clean slate again. Okay, now A has started a company called X, and he started manufacturing the chains. And first quarter he has 0 sales because he wants to set up all his business. In the first quarter he has sold 1k chains, and in second quarter he sold 2k chains, and in the third quarter he sold 3k chains. So total amount of sales which has happened in the first year is 6,000 chains he has manufactured and sold in the market. So A, he is doing a plenty of good business, just assuming it. Okay, so this is a 6,000 chains he has sold. Just assume sales is the 6k. Okay, now this 6,000 chains, so what is the profit for each share for the company? Just assume that for the market it is 1 rupees. Just I'm assuming it. Okay, so 6,000 rupees is the profit for the company. In the first year, with the investment of 1 lakh, company is able to generate a 6,000 rupees of profit. Now what? So we have total 1,000 shares, right? So total 1 lakh into equals to 1,000 shares. So what is the amount which we have been? 6,000 rupees the company has generated. So what is mean by total number of shares by total income? 6,000. So what it will come? 6 rupees. So for each share in the market, okay, for each share the company is able to generate 1 rupee. So 100 rupees worth of your share is earning 1 rupee in the market. So your 100 rupees is earning 1 rupee in the market. So this is what the earnings per share. This is one of the common most important criteria when we are selecting the companies. So earnings per share in the sense, so total number of shares, net income of the company for that particular year divided by total number of shares. That will give the earnings per share of the company, 6 rupees. For every 1 share the company is earning 6 rupees. Now that company is having this 6,000 rupees in their hand. So what they will do is a question mark. So there are 2 things here company will do. Generally most of the companies will do 2 things here. So first what they will do is they will give this to retail investors. This is to be called as dividend. And otherwise they'll do whatever they with 6,000 they'll expand their manufacturing plant. Whether they can improve their their manufacturing tools or raw materials, they'll go the production or resources. That is how the companies will do, right? So they can go for the expansion. So dividend, what is meant by dividend? So dividend is the company, whatever the money which is the company is having in the reservoirs, that is mean the income, it can distribute it to the shareholders. So as A is having 500 shares, so how much money he will be earning? Each share is earning 6 rupees. So 5,000 into 6, so 3,000 rupees will go to A. And for I, who is having 200 rupees of shares, I will be earning 1,200 rupees. And you, who is having 300 shares with 6 rupees, you will be earning 1,800 rupees. So this dividend amount will be paid to you via the company. So this is what the dividend. So we used to hear that ITC company has given the dividend, so on. So We usually hear in the news. So there are few companies in Indian market, they used to give huge amount of dividends. For example, ITC and then the NMDC. These are the companies. There are few companies which will give decent dividends to their retail investors. That is called dividend, and the company will go for the expansion. And here I would like to mention one more point here. If the company is paying dividend to its investors, it means the company is not having any plans of expansion. That is a main drawback. And another thing, if a company is expanding their business, it may get succeed or it may get failed. So it is a two-edged sword. It may get succeed or it may get failed. So both the cases. So when you are analyzing a company, you need to take few other things, sector or market share. Where there are a couple of things you need to take into the account. How the company, whether a company, sometimes in some sectors the companies which are paying dividends are good companies. In some sectors, companies which are going expansion is really good. So it depends upon that. So this is one thing, earnings per share. And what is the other things? There are a few other things what we will do is earnings per share. Then what another one is important criteria is P by E, price to ratio, price to equity ratio. So sorry, my bad. So P by E ratio. So how this P by E is equal to calculated? Okay, so each share is earning 6 rupees, right? So earnings per share divided by share of the price, 100 rupees. Sorry, my bad. Share of the price divided by 100 rupees. 100 by 6. How much is it going to cost? 6 5 30. Sorry. 6 1 16.66 if I'm not wrong. So company has to invest 16 point. Just assume that I'm round finger it to 17 rupees. Okay, for the example purpose. Come to earn 1 rupee, company has need of the 17 rupees as an investment. That is called the P by E ratio. So company called X, which was invested by the A, to generate an income of 1 rupees, the company has to invest the 17 rupees. That is called the P by E ratio. That is the reason people used to look at the P by E, how much company is generating, how much money is needed from the share market or equity retail investors. The company used to generate 1 rupee of income. People generally suggest you in the market like the low PE companies are the good companies and undervalued companies, because the PE which is less than 5 are good companies. It is not true all the time. The reason is I'm going to tell you. Let's take an example of this share company which is earning just 17 rupees. Okay, because the plastic and the manufacturing plants are very simple. Let's take an example of manufacturing huge car manufacturing company. Let's like Tata Motors or Mahindra or Maruti Suzuki. These companies needs a lot of huge amount of manufacturing plants, and they need a lot of huge investment as well. So for those companies, that definitely the investment will be huge. So in that case, the P by will definitely will be more. Okay, so when we are taking the consideration of P by E, don't think blindly that the low PE companies are the good companies or undervalued companies. That means that you just need to compare the company P by E with this competitors in the same sector. Suppose if you are purchasing the shares of Tata Motors P by E should be compared with the Mahindra and Maruti Suzuki. So that is how we have to do. Suppose if you are purchasing the Nestle India, you have to compare it with its competitor in the same sector called Britannia Industries. So that is how you have to calculate the P by E. So you have to compare your P by E with the competitors in the same sector. That is how we will get to know whether the company is overpriced or undervalued. So this is the one more thing. And this is so let's take an example of, I'm just taking one other clean slate to explain you how about the stock prices will get increased. So our investment stock price is 100 rupees. Okay, and this 100 rupees made with a value of 106 rupees. 100 rupees plus 6 rupees company has generated. So value is 106 rupees. There is a retail investor called Z. He was very keen to interest. He saw that company, how the A company A has started investment. He has started the company called X, and how it is doing its sales, and he was very attracted by this company, and this company has generated 6 rupees of income in the first 1 year itself. So even the quarterly sales are getting increased. So he was very great about, he thought it is a very good investment for him to invest in the company called X. So what he will do, there are only A will not sell the investors as he is an investor. So either you, I, who is having 200 shares and 300 shares, So what he will do is he will think that, so today it is 106 rupees, just he'll assume that if the quarterly sales are same increasing, so the company will make next year by 115 rupees, 15 rupees as profit and 100 rupees of share price, so it will become 115 rupees of value worth. So what he will do is he wants to be part of that profit which the company is going to make in the next year. So what he will do, whatever the amount 106 rupees which is the worth of current worth, he is ready to pay for the 110 rupees. So he is paying 4 rupees extra for you at the correct moment, in the right moment, current situation, to be a part of the future profits of 115. So he is spending his much more money, which is whatever it is required worth of money, to get the profits in future. So whatever it become 110 rupees. This is how the company's share prices will get increased. What I'm explaining here in the basic beginner guide. So this is not the only one of the reason why the stock prices will go up or will go down. There will be a few market situations, external situations, like suppose let's say COVID, corona situation, this kind of pandemic out. So all the company stocks go down and then again they went up. So these things, there are some external forces will be there in the stock market. That is where the beginners will get locked, or will get fear of the stock market. See, one thing I'm going to tell you, that stock market is always there and it is always making profits. Even in the Harshad Mehta scam, or even 2007-2008 economical crisis, or even 2020 March corona pandemic crisis, whatever it is, stock market is always there and it is increasing by every year. Suppose maybe one year you may get very less returns, but definitely the next following years the stock market will definitely give the better returns to you. So that is how we have to take into the consideration. So these are the basic things how the stock market will works. And see, I'm just summarizing up whatever we have discussed. So suppose A wants to start a chairs business and the company called X. So he knows the business and he wants to start the company. So he needs an investment of 1 lakh rupees. He's only having 50,000 rupees in his hand. So he needs extra 50,000 rupees for the investment to start his company. So he cannot directly ask the retail investors to invest in his company. So he'll go to the stock exchanges called Bombay Stock Exchanges and National Stock Exchanges, two major stock exchanges in India. So national stock exchanges will have an index of 50 stocks, top 56 stocks, which is to be called as Nifty, and then Sensex will be having 30 outperforming stocks has been indexed, it is called Sensex. And when the stock prices are keep on increasing these indexes, then it is called bull market. And if the stock if the index is going down for every day, then it is to be called as the bear market. And when the company has been made the profits, whatever the profits with the company which is going to get, that will be purpose out in two purpose, which whether the company will go for the expansion or the company will go pay to the investors. Whatever the money which is company is going to pay to the investors is to be called as dividend. And earnings per share is what is the net profit of the income by the number of shares which company is having, that is to be called as earnings per share. And another one is P by E ratio, price to equity ratio, how much company needs an investment from the equity to earn 1 rupee. So for that 1 rupees we have calculated it already. So when P by E is PE ratio is less, doesn't mean that company is undervalued, or P by E is more than higher amount is not value of the company is overvalued. It means we have to compare the companies in the P by E values with the same sector, then only we can come to the conclusion on top of that. And when how the stock price are getting increased, if the company is making the good sales, and definitely investors will think that if it is a good investment, then definitely they'll buy the stocks of that particular company. Now we have come to the BSE India. This is the Bombay Stock Exchange website. Whether if you go to the here, this is called the Sensex, how the Sensex is going here today. And if you go to the come to the NSE India, this is Nifty, National Stock Exchange of India. This is Nifty. So this is the graph of the Nifty. So morning it has started at around 13,764 and it is going down and it is going up. And if you see here, advances and declines. So advances, it is in the sense green. This out of 50 stocks, 28 stocks out of 50 stocks are their price stocks of those price companies are getting increased, and then 22 stocks are declining, in the sense 22 stocks out of 50 stocks prices are going down. So these are the top 5 stocks which are going there, increasing the stock prices, and these are the top 5 stocks which are their prices are getting decreased. This is if you go to any basic information about the company, you can directly go to the NSE India or BSE India. You can go to that companies, and then so let's take an example. We'll see about any stock. Go for the Tata Motors. So this is Bombay Stock Exchange. I think stocks is in neutral market. It is not getting increased or plus 254 points. It is good for here. Here's a Nifty. It is almost increased 57 points. Yeah, the company, I think it is bull market is running. We all know that stock prices are keep on increasing for every day. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is slow today. It's okay. Let it open. And there are two things, one more thing which I can explain here is, so these are the indexes. So Nifty Auto, in the sense it will come the automobile industries, and Nifty Bank, in the sense it will have the index of the banking industry, and we have the Nifty Metal and in banking and auto industries. These are the major sectors as well, which we have to look. I'll make a detailed video about what are the different types of sectors and what are the top markets in the top stocks in those sectors. Definitely I'll make those videos. See here we have taken the Tata Motors today. So the price currently is 176 rupees 90 paise. So previous close, what is meant by previous close? Previous close is yesterday's where the stock price has been ended or closed. So last transaction yesterday happened at 169 rupees and 20 paise, and when the open, in the sense what is the starting price of the market open today of the ITC company is 172 rupees, and close will become around, once the market is closed, our market timings are from morning 9 o'clock to evening 3:30. And if you come here, intraday high and low. So intraday, today's company's low is 172 rupees, and today's company stock went around, high was 178 rupees, almost 6 rupees bandwidth is there. And then 52-week low and 52-week high. So around 24th of March, during the corona outbreak, the company stock price was 63 rupees only. And during the 15th January, in the sense starting of the year, the company's price was 201 rupee. So 52-week and 52-week high will give us the insight of what is the year's lowest price and here's year highest price. And bid price and ask price, this is the sellers and buyers. This is how they will sell and buy the shares with the companies. So suppose, let's take an example where if there is a person who is able to sell the 3,229 shares of ITC. He is offering at 176.95 paise, and there is someone who is ready to buy at 81,000 shares at 176.90 paise. There is a 5 paise difference. So this is how the bid will go for the buyers, and this is for the ask price of the sellers who wants to sell, and the traded value is how much of shares has been sold and bought today, and the traded value of those volume shares. And market cap of the company. Market cap of the company is, in our example, the total investment of the company, which is all whatever the investments total 1,000 shares were there, right, in for our X company. So each share is worth of 100 rupees, 106 rupees, because let's take an example for the next year. So what will become 1,06,000. So this will become the market cap of the company. This is the total market cap, and this is how we have to look at the companies. So here, when is that listing has been 1998, 22nd of July, this Tata Motors have been listed into the National Stock Exchange. And what is the sector? And Nifty Automobile. So this is what we can do. Definitely I'll make a couple of videos on what is mean by return on equity, ROCE, and remaining more details, how to read the financial statements of the companies, how to read the sales growth, and annual statements, and where we can get them. I'll make definitely another video on that. So thank you so much, guys. If you guys need any more information, just if I missed anything, just give a comment in the comment section. Definitely I'll try to answer all your questions, or I'll definitely make another video on your topics. Thank you so much. Have a good day.